Welcome back to Flying Tiles. I'm so happy you're here. I have got quite a video for you, a lot of good information. This is the Mahjong set we're using from Two Sparrows Mahjong, and the jokers here, they are the star of the show. So I chose a set that had a little more whimsy because we're not going to be focusing on the hands. We're going to be focusing on jokers, the rules and usage of jokers. So here we have our bamboos, and we have the green dragons that go with that. We have our dots, and we have the soaps or the white dragons that go with that. We have our characters, and we have the red dragons that go with that. So if you notice here, the green dragons, their tail goes to the left. And on the red dragons, their tail goes to the right. And I point that out because if you're colorblind or you're playing with somebody that's colorblind, it's important to have the dragons distinguished by how they look and not just by the color. Because a lot of times, if the dragons look the exact same and it's just the color, it's difficult for people that are colorblind to distinguish between the two different dragons. So up here, we have our flower tiles. We have the capture tiles, which are going to be part of the flower group. We have the dog that captures the kitty and the mouse that captures the cheese. And that's for Singapore Mahjong or East Asian Mahjong games. And then we have our flowers up here that are numbered, which is great because in the Asian Mahjong games, I don't know if it's all of them, but they use the numbers to decide bonus points and different stuff like that. I'm not real familiar with it. And here we have our winds, north, east, west, and south. And if you notice, the north and south are both written in purple, which is really nice because they go together on the card. They're the ones that go with odds. East and west, same color there. And they're the ones that go with the even colors. So Two Sparrows is really helping us out with the dragons, helping us out with the winds, and helping us out to be able to expand our repertoire in regard to what kind of Mahjong game we can play. We can use these tiles. And I love these tiles. They're really nice and chunky, and they can even stand up on their own. So if you are playing an Asian form of Mahjong, these will work. You don't need racks. Okay, I have got a video that's just jam-packed of a lot of good information. So let's get into it. Go over the basics of the jokers. So jokers, as you see here, these are wild tiles, and they can stand in for any tile as long as they're in groupings, the same tiles. Here we have a pung of red dragon. So this is standing in for a red dragon. They're all the same. Here we have the joker standing in for a Kong of flowers. They can be in flowers. They can also be in winds as long as what you need is all north, and up here all flowers. And then of course you need them in quints. So it can be all jokers. You just have to say, okay, I'm going to make this my 2 bam because that's what I need. And so that's kind of the basic of the jokers. They can stand in as long as all the tiles are the exact same here. So let me know if you have any questions. It doesn't matter what the tile is, whether it's a dragon, a flower, a wind, or a suited tile. And they can also be, like if I move this and let's see, I can say, okay, this is going to be my north. And I just declare what this is, and they can all be jokers. That's not a problem. I stole it from that up there. Let's move on to what jokers cannot do. Jokers can never, ever be used in a pair or when they're single tiles. So this is a chow, 5, 6, 7. These are considered single tiles, and you cannot use jokers in there. This is news, N-E-W-S. You cannot use jokers in there because they're all different, and these are considered single. You cannot use them in a year, 2025. Those are all considered single, and you cannot use a joker in there. And I put these dragons here because we have these dragons in the like number category as singles. You cannot use jokers as single tiles. So you cannot use them in a pair. You cannot use them in a chow. You cannot use them in news or 2025 or 2026, which is coming up. And you cannot use them as singles, even though they are looking like that. And they're kind of put together. Well, those aren't, but they're kind of put together on the card like that. There is no joker in any of these. In order for a joker to be used, it has to be a pung. I just turn that into a pung. And the tiles have to all be the same within that tile block. Here is a little tidbit that will help you not miss a joker exchange. Over on the other side there, we have 2 9-bams and 2 jokers. So we have a Kong of 9-bams, so to speak. Now, your turn starts when you either claim a discard or you pick from the wall. So what I used to do would be I'd pick from the wall, 9-bam. Oh, I don't need that. 9-bam, discard. Oops, I missed that joker exchange because I was going too fast. I wasn't paying attention. So what I have learned to do, I picked this up at a tournament from an old-time teacher, is these are my discards, which I keep over here. I have 3 discards that don't go towards my hand or don't help pivot into another hand. And I know that those are there. I pick my tile, 9-bam, and then one crack, and then I automatically discard a tile that I know I don't need. I mean, of course, I can do the joker exchange on that turn if I see it, if I'm aware enough, but it also helps me not miss it. So on my next turn, I will be able to get that 9-bam. Okay, let's look at how you actually do a joker exchange. First, you have to begin your turn, and your turn begins by either claiming the last discard or picking from the wall. So I'm going to pick from the wall. And, oh, I've got an 8-bam. That's great. And I noticed that my opponent over there, she has a Kong of 9-bams. Well, she has 2 9-bams and 2 jokers. So I'm going to do a joker exchange with her, and I can do them for both of these in one turn. So, joker, please. You announce what you're doing. Thank you. And then I say, joker, please, again. Yeah, it hurts. Thank you. And I'm able to get as many jokers that she has that I can exchange in one turn. You don't have to wait for your next turn next time. Let's take this joker exchange step by step. It's important to remember that you must start your turn before you initiate a joker exchange. Sometimes people get so excited they do the joker exchange first, but let's not do that. So I'm going to pick from the wall. I have a red dragon. Okay. Oh, I do see I can do a joker exchange. So you never touch anybody else's tile. You say, may I please have your joker? And they will say, yes, you may. They give you the joker and they take that, and then you have the joker. So you never touch anybody else's tile. You don't do the joker exchange in their rack. That is really bad etiquette. Once you discard, you can't say, oops, I forgot to do the joker exchange. So let's say I pick this. Oh, it's a red dragon. I don't need that. Red dragon. Oops, wait, I meant to do a joker exchange. So down is down. Whenever it touches the table, that means it's discarded, even if you haven't fully named. If I pick it and I say, oh, red dragon, oh, wait. So once I've said it, once it's been fully named, that's considered discarded. I can't say, get my joker exchange there if I wanted it. So once you put it down on the table, or once you fully name it, red dragon, I cannot do the joker exchange. The other piece is nobody else can grab this and do the joker exchange. So this is only available to another player that wants to do an exposure with this red dragon. So that is not available for anybody else to do a joker exchange. Okay, let's go through a decision tree just in regard to understanding what jokers are available when a hand is declared dead. So I have my Kong of North, my Kong of South, and what we know is that with North and South, the numbers in between here, they have to be odd. Have those up, everything's valid, everything's good. Somebody, it's their turn, they discard a 4 dot. I say, wait, hold, call. I put it up on my rack like that. I put my joker up and I put my 4 dot up. So that's my pung of 4 dots that I'm making with this hand. Well, I'm sure you can see the problem. And the problem is, this is even. Evens don't go with the north and the south. This has to be odd. So somebody says, hey, your hand's dead. There's no such hand there on the card. And I cannot declare myself dead. So the player cannot declare themselves dead. It has to be another player. So my hand is dead. What jokers are available? Are all these jokers available? The way you decide is it's the exposures that were up before the hand was declared dead. This is what caused the hand to be declared dead. So this is not available. This goes back into my rack. And I am out of the game. And I have to sit on the sidelines with my mouth zipped. And these jokers are available. That's a lot of jokers. So people are probably going to be able to get some jokers off of this if they have north and south. That's how you determine if the jokers are available. It's whatever is up there before the hand is declared dead. Here's our next little vignette. I'm a newcomer, a beginner, and I'm going to play my first closed hand. I have a pair of north, pair of east, pung of west, pung of south, Kong of dragons. Any Kong of dragons. Can be anyone. Closed hand, 30 points. So excited. This is my first time doing this. Okay, so here we go. Somebody had discarded a west. I claimed it with my joker. I have my pung of west. I'm getting close. So somebody then says, on the next turn, discarding red dragon. Oh my gosh, red dragon. I need a Kong of dragons. I've got 2 dragons. So I claim it. I say, wait, call, claim it. Look at that. I've got my Kong of dragons. Okay. So somebody's looking at my hand and saying, there's something not right there. Oh, you're playing a closed hand because that hand is the only hand on this card that has a pung of west and a Kong of dragons. And that's a closed hand under winds and dragons. Your hand is not valid. Oh, very disappointed. So, are these jokers redeemable? The answer is no. They are not redeemable in a closed hand. What needs to happen next is these exposures go back down in the rack where they should have been in the first place, and they are not redeemable. And I have to sit out the next few turns until somebody gets Mahjong. It was very sad. Let's look at another scenario. I'm going to be playing this closed hand, pair of flowers, pair of sevens, pung of fives, pung of sevens in a different suit, and a pair of nines in a third suit. Any 3 suits, closed hand worth 30 points. And here's that hand in tiles. So I have my pair, pung, pung, and then my 9 cracks. The only thing I need is a 9 crack to Mahjong with my closed hand. Over on the other side, there's a 9 bam, and a joker. So there's a pung of 9 bams, 2 9 bams, and 1 joker. So I'm going to pull from the wall. And look at that. I got a 9 bam. I obviously don't need that. Now, you do not have to do a joker exchange. It will give information, though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to discard the 9 bam, and then it's the next person's turn. So when I discarded that 9 bam, people, they don't know what I'm doing because I don't have any exposures up, but that does tell them not doing the joker exchange. Maybe I missed it, or I could be trying to get a pair, which I am. So that's the information you get from it when you see somebody discard a tile that they could have done a joker exchange. So sometimes people will correct the player and say, "Oh, look, you missed a joker exchange." Well, maybe that was intentional, like here, like I couldn't use it. But also, if I don't need it, you don't want to do a joker exchange. Number one, it can give somebody a pure hand, meaning then if they get Mahjong, then they win. If they don't have any jokers, they get double. So, it's strategy. And maybe if I could do a joker exchange, I might do it so nobody else gets the joker. So there's a lot of ways you can go. But if you're another player and you see something like that happen, you just got to keep your mouth buttoned up. Don't make any comments. Here's the last little tidbit. Jokers cannot be used in this section of single and pairs. So there's no jokers that are allowed in this section at all. But that's kind of obvious since they're all singles and pairs. I don't think I included this 1-0 when I was talking about what jokers cannot be used in. So in the tin, jokers cannot be used for the soap. It cannot be used for the suited tile. Only the soap can be used for the white dragon soap or a 0. Jokers cannot be used for 0. The other rule is you can only use a symbol tile to ask for a joker. You cannot ask a joker for a symbol tile. You cannot do that. That's a no-no. So it can only be a symbol tile to ask for a joker. Also, you cannot pass jokers in the Charleston. That's also a very basic principle. Jokers cannot be passed in the Charleston. Let's look at a concept called joker bait. This is really fun when it works. So you want to do this move probably about halfway through the game. You want the players to have a chance to start developing their hand. This player over here, they have 2-4 cracks. That's their joker bait. It's time for them to discard. It's part of their discard. They don't need it as part of their hand. So they discard 4 crack. This player over here says, wait, call. And then they put up a pung of 4 cracks because they need them. So they go around. It's this player's turn again. They pick their tile because you always have to start your turn, either picking a tile from the wall or picking a discard. Then they say, joker, please. And they get their joker. And that is how joker bait works. Let's look at what we call our jokers when we discard them. There's several names we can use. So this player over here with the exposures, they pick their tile, they rack it immediately to close that window of opportunity for the last discard to get picked. They don't need that, so they say 2 crack. It's the next player's turn, and they pick their tile, rack it immediately. They don't sit there and stare at it, and they're going to keep that tile. So they're going to discard a joker because they don't need their joker. So they can say 2 crack, since that was the last one. You can name it after the immediately last discard. You can say same, you can say same tile, or you can say joker. So those are all valid. So you can say 2 crack, same tile, or joker. And that's how you discard your joker, and those are the appropriate names. So a lot of people ask, why do you call the joker same when you discard it? Same as the last discard, the 2 crack in this case. So the reason why is because if somebody hears the word joker, their ears perk up, and that's giving them information. Could you be almost close to Mahjong? Do you only need a pair? If you have exposures, they may know what pair you need, and they'll go on defensive mode, and they won't give you that pair that you need. It's a stealth strategy to call your joker same. Somebody has a Kong of 4 cracks out, one of them being a joker. You have a 4 crack here. So you do not have to be in a hurry to exchange this joker if you even want to do that, because you have the last 4 crack. Because remember, there's only 4 numbers in each suit. So, like there's only 4 cracks, there's only 4 2 cracks, etc., etc. So you have time. You don't have to exchange it. You may not want to because you may be playing singles or pairs, or you may be okay and you don't want to give them a pure hand. So there's a lot of reasons, but just know if you can identify where each of the tiles are, you'll know where you stand as far as if you have the last tile or if there's other tiles out there that somebody could claim that joker. I want to highlight the fact that joker tiles are the safest tiles that you can discard. They can never be picked up Once these jokers are down, they're down. That's why at the end of the game, when you see people discarding a lot of jokers, they do that because nobody can use that for their mahjong and they don't want to help anybody get their mahjong. So discarding your jokers is the safest way to go. If you're on the defensive and you have tiles that you know somebody needs and you have jokers, it's best to discard your jokers if you know you're not going to win. There is a lot of information in this video on jokers, the rules and usage. So I want to remind you that you can find the rules for joker on the back of your playing card. They're all right here. This is the middle panel. And so this area sums up the joker rules or rules for jokers. And also one other place is Mahjong Made Easy. This is the rule book from the National Mah Jongg League. You will find everything you need to know on page 23 and also on page 24. Of course, there's information about the jokers all throughout this book. On page 30, they have it's called Reminder and Helpful Hints. That's a great place to read through too. This is a wonderful book. I highly recommend, if you're going to be serious about playing Mahjong, is to get this Mahjong Made Easy book. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by and watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.